So in this lesson, we're going to start to learn the alphabet. So the first letter that we're going to learn today is the letter Alef. So this is the print way of writing Alef. And the cursive letter Alef looks like this. Everything that I write on the board, please write in your notebooks. So the letter Alef is a voiceless letter. That means that the letter will be sound depending on the vowel it has. It can sound like an A, E, I, O, U, depending on the vowel. So in order to start writing some words, we need to learn another letter. And the second letter in the Hebrew alphabet is the letter Bet. So this is how we write it in print. And this is how we write it in cursive. So the letter Bet is equivalent to 2 English consonants. So let's write the letter Bet twice, both in print and in cursive. And now we're going to talk about the first vowel sign that we're going to learn in our course. The first vowel sign that we're going to learn is a vowel sign called Dagesh. It's simply a dot placed inside the letter. The Dagesh is an emphasizer, which in many cases makes a semi-voiceless consonant into a voice consonant. For example, the letter Bet having the Dagesh inside it, this single dot inside it, will be equivalent to the English letter B. Without the Dagesh, without this single dot inside it, without this vowel sign, the letter Bet will be equivalent to the English letter V. When we have a dot inside the letter Bet, it's a B. Without it, it's a V. Having all of this knowledge in our arsenal, let's start writing some words. So how are we going to learn the vowel signs? The best way will be as we go along. Another vowel sign that I will introduce to you is the vowel sign, the first vowel sign that represents the A vowel. So the X marks any letter in the Hebrew alphabet, and the dash under it, this dash, will mean that this letter has an A vowel. This is the first A vowel that we're going to learn. Why am I saying this is the first? Because there are several. Let's stick to that one for now. The first word that we're going to learn in Hebrew is the word for father. It will be the combination of the letters Alef and Bet. We'll place the A vowel, the Patach, under the Alef. And now we will read it as Av. Because the letter Alef has an A vowel, it becomes Av. The letter Bet here does not have a Dagesh, which means it will be equivalent to the English V letter. Av. Also, we need to write it in cursive. Same word, Av, father, but in cursive. So what you see over here, this is what you'll most likely see on billboards, on websites, on newspapers, and this is how you will generally write it in your notebook. But for now, we're going to write both, because it is essential to know both the print alphabet, because we need to be able to read it, and the cursive alphabet, because we'll need to rewrite some things in our notebooks. It is much faster to write this way than to write in print. So please, everything should be written in your notebooks. Having those two letters in our arsenal, we can continue writing some more words. Before we do that, I need to introduce you to another vowel. So the first vowel that we learned was the Patach. The Patach is one of the 3 A vowels in Hebrew. The second one, which is also an A vowel, will be the Kamats. So the Kamats is the same dash, having also a vertical line just like so. Both of them are A vowels. Their only difference is their appearance. And there is no difference whatsoever between them. Not in pronunciation, not in stress, not in anything. The only thing that you need to keep in mind is that the Patach and the Kamats both represent the A vowel. There is no difference whatsoever between them. Why do we have more than one A vowel in Hebrew to represent the same vowel? Well, obviously it has to do something with the Bible, and there's some more deepness into Hebrew that is actually not relevant to us when we are beginners, when we are learning the language from scratch. The only thing that you need to keep in mind is just to know that the appearance of the A vowels looks like this. And there's no difference in pronunciation, in stress, in length, or anything like that. Both of them will be simple A vowels. This is the Patach, and this is the Kamats. So having those two A vowels in our arsenal, let's write the second word. So Av was the word for father. This is a more formal situation. However, in more casual situations, for example, a child addressing his father, he will call him Abba. A, ba. Let's write it in cursive. A, ba. Abba. Abba is dad. This is how a child will call his father. This is how a child will address his father. Abba. So let's break down the word. We have the Alef over here, which has a Patach, which is an A vowel. So since we know that the letter Alef is a voiceless letter, then we'll pronounce it as A. The letter Bet has a Dagesh inside it, the single dot, which makes it a B equivalent letter. And also underneath it, it has an A vowel, which makes it Ba. And you'll probably ask me, why do we need this last letter Alef here, if we already have the vowel signs? Well, that would be a very good question. I'll tell you two things. The first thing is that we need to keep in mind that here the letter Alef is silent. So what's its role in the word? The first thing is that it gives me a reference that the letter standing before it typically has an A vowel. So the combination of those two letters, I will know that the letter Bet has an A vowel over here. Why am I telling you this? Because essentially in Hebrew, somewhere between 2nd and 3rd grade at school, we're not using vowel signs anymore. So words will look like this. And me, as a Hebrew speaker, I will need to recognize whether this word is Abba or Av. The combination of those two letters that we already learned, I will know for certain that this is Av, father. And Abba is dad. So the Alef gives me an idea that we have another vowel to the letter Bet. Abba versus Av. Let's learn another word before we move on to the next letter. Is the word for he comes or I'm coming. Ba. Ba. Ba means he comes. Or he came. So if we want to say dad has came or dad is coming, we'll say Aba ba. Aba ba. So here we see the same case with the letter Alef. Here it's silent, because we cannot write the letter bet without anything. Usually Hebrew words will need to have at least 2 letters to become a proper word. So that's it for this lesson. In the next lesson we're going to continue to learn the next letters in the Hebrew alphabet.